Once we learn how to prove that triangles are congruent, then we know that all of the parts of those triangles are congruent, and we use something called CPCTE. What CPCTE stands for is corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal in measure. And a lot of teachers like you to write this out instead of writing the abbreviation, so be sure you ask your teacher which he or she prefers. But it's important to know that first we need to prove the triangles are congruent, and once we know the triangles are congruent, we know all of their corresponding parts are congruent. So let's say we've been working through a proof dealing with these two triangles, and we have proved that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Well, once we have proven that, we can say triangle A is congruent to triangle D. Or we could say angle B is congruent to angle E. Or angle C is congruent to angle F. We could do the same with the sides. We could say AB is congruent to DE, AC is congruent to DF, and BC is congruent to EF. This is helpful because there are times when we're dealing with triangles, and say you have these two triangles, and they've given you information like these two angles are equal, they're both 90 degrees, and they've told you that this angle is equal to this angle, and we see that they share this side. Now we can tell that this big triangle here is congruent to this big triangle over here. Hopefully that's not too much drawing and you can tell what I'm talking about. But once we do that, we can also prove that this side over here is equal to this side over here, and maybe that's what they were asking you. And so first you would prove the triangles were congruent, and they are by angle, side, angle, and then after you've proven they're congruent, then you can use CPCTE to say other parts of those triangles are congruent.